Okay, so today I wanted to talk about this idea around I'm not good enough. Why does that come up as ex-boarders and some of the things we can do about it? And yeah, also, how this might manifest in adult life. Okay. So, I was doing a client session last night and the belief came up about I'm not good enough. So, this person's an ex-boarder and just noticing how this belief is kind of under the surface, and on one level how it manifests, and I'll go into that. In trauma work, the belief I'm not good enough is under, most people have that. It's just the degree to which we have it. As ex-boarders, it's very powerful. It can sometimes be a bit all-encompassing, but because we've learned, as Mark Sunderland said in the podcast, he says because it's disguised trauma, what we do is we've got this I'm not good enough. We either can go to two extremes. We either go to I'm not good enough, we collapse, nothing happens in life, we kind of give up, or in my case, try and commit suicide. Or there's the other side, which goes to the other extreme. I'm going to prove to everyone I am good enough, but it's not coming from a loving place. It's like can come from very driven. It can lead to burnout because it's like I'm going to prove to you that I am good enough. The question then is, why do we get this I'm not good enough? Why is it so prevalent in ex-boarders? And Power, in some of her papers, she writes about this idea of attachment. And what she's saying is that if we are securely attached and we go to a boarding school, what happens is that we can't believe that our parents are somehow bad, and therefore we must therefore go, there's something wrong with me, that I'm not good enough. That's why I'm in this institution. Nick Duffel talks about that in Wounded Leaders as well, this idea of the boarder's double bind, which goes like this. If they love me, why do they send me away? And if I don't like it, there must be something wrong with me. So it's this idea that the blame always comes inside. So I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And this is often what happens in trauma. But with boarding school, we get this, daily. And I think I found Mark Sunderland's episode last week really powerful. He said this idea of stress without attachment equals trauma. So there's so many micro stresses in the day-to-day of a child. When they go home, when they have that attachment, it's just stress. They either have a safe place, they get to talk with parents, or just to be in their own space. But for children in these schools where there is no attachment, what happens is the stress without that attachment, without that person to talk to, without the person to go, you are good enough, it becomes trauma. It kind of internalizes, and it just keeps going over and over again. So I see this in my work a lot with leaders, is this idea that if I believe I'm not good enough, then, I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to really prove. And on the outside, they can seem really successful. Go, wow, they do great things. They're really good at everything. But it's coming at a cost. The cost is that they can't stop. They just keep going, they burn out. And how this manifests, as Mark Sunderland again said, is as addictions. We often have the addictions hidden under the surface. Pornography, it might be alcohol, might be Class A drugs, it might be some other form. As Mark again says, it's like this migration. You might stop the alcohol, but it might migrate to something else. You can't stop working. So what can we do then if we have this belief that I'm not good enough? So there's some simple cognitive exercises you can do that I've been doing for a number of years. Is when I believe and I feel that I'm not good enough, is just to flip it around. It's like, and what is really useful is to write it down. Sometimes when we get stuck in the I'm not good enough, something's triggered, the brain goes into freeze. Bessel van der Kolk says there's no brain activity. And And that's okay. But we then obviously need to write something down so we've got something to look back on. So what I will often do is I will write down on a piece of paper, I am good enough, or, some other words to those effect, and then write down 4 or 5 times where I have been good enough. It might be, for me, it's giving up alcohol now, 23, nearly 24 years. It might have been the time I spent with Michelle. It's like seeing I am good enough. I am good enough. And then reflecting on those. Oh yeah, these are the concrete times where I was good enough. Because this inner critic will, and this is a common symptom for ex-boarders, as again Mark was saying, is we beat ourselves up. The inner critic, but also we beat up other people going, oh, they're terrible, they're this, they're that. We judge others. And actually we need to challenge that inner critic. So no, I'm good enough. And see all those times. The second thing I'd say with this is just when you do something well, and it might be just a little thing, you said you were going to take the rubbish out, and you do, and it's like, yes, you start to parent yourself. My Jungian analyst in the noughties, when I first began on this journey of healing, she said to me, you've got to start parenting yourself, Piers. And I didn't know how to parent myself. I hadn't had that model to me by my own parents. So this is why we have to start parenting ourselves, to go, you've done it, well done. So celebrate, to say you're good enough. And the inner critic will go for the first 100,000 times, no, you're not good enough. And as a parent, it's like, yes, you are. So we need to start parenting, being the biggest support is ourselves. And I love what, I can't remember who it was. I think it's Darren Donnelly in his work. He does a lot of sports psychology books. And he says it's about how we talk to ourselves. That's the inner critic. That's the inner dialogue. It's not allowing the thoughts to just go. It's like, no, we decide that we're going to talk in a really benevolent and loving way to ourselves. You've got this. You can do this. And it's like allowing that. So we build up that I am good enough. And when we do things well, we celebrate, yes, I'm good enough. And I found that has really helped me. And there's lots of other different ways of doing it. And that, and that links into the imposter syndrome. We feel because of I'm not good enough, we're an imposter. And we need to start going, no, actually, no, I am good enough. I am good enough. So yeah, just some thoughts and reflections. Got a podcast going live on Friday with Françoise Elvine talking about the brain, talking about left and right hemispheres, feminine, masculine, talking about trauma. Really fascinating to hear that. And yeah, that goes live on Friday. And yeah, this Sunday there is a screening for the documentary in Stroud. There's another one in October in Totnes for Boarding on Insanity. So if you are drawn, I'll put a link into the description. But yeah, if you have any questions, does this resonate? Yeah, did this come up for you? Has that been present in your life, that you're not good enough? It's like, certainly for me, it's been so prevalent. The belief underneath I'm not good enough is I was a piece of shit. That's what I left boarding school with. What about you? So yeah, thank you for listening. Please do share this, and thank you for your support. Okay, take care. Bye for now.